Garrett, you want to start the meeting?
Hi.
You want to put the time and date and all that on the record, Paul?
Today is November 19th at 4 p.m. And the first discussion is an update on the MTA plans to put an elevator at the Hartsdale train station. This is the first time I'm excited about the proposal even before I hear from you. So this is really great. I'm so thrilled that you're doing this.
Yeah, I would also like to thank Ruben Ziona here on behalf of Metro North. Mark Mannix and Steve Brown are also here. They've been excellent in terms of coordination, have alerted us of this project years, I think, at this point ago, and have involved various commissioners in the town. So we wanted to use this opportunity for them to present to the town board and also be used as an opportunity for the public to become more aware of this great project. So thank you.
So Metro North work in Hartsdale is divided into two phases, as you can see on the board. The first phase that we're about to begin, and I'll go over the schedule momentarily, will include the construction of two elevators and the associated elevator machine rooms. One on the inbound side and one on the outbound side, and I'll show you a sketch momentarily. In order to abide by ADA, these new sidewalks and curb cuts near the elevators. There will also be some new amenities in the overpass, such as benches, counters with USB outlets, and we will replace the heaters and put new LED lighting. In order to accommodate the new elevators, we also need to do some power upgrades in the inbound side of the station. During the next capital program, which is the 2020 to 2024, we will be replacing the station platforms with heated platforms and new canopies, new PA system, customer information displays, security cameras, and other amenities such as benches, help points, and heated shelters. As far as this Phase 1 schedule, as you can look below, the design is actually complete. We are in the process of procuring a contractor, and we are supposed to advertise within the next few weeks. The procurement will take a few months, and then we anticipate the award sometimes in the second quarter of 2020. After that, the construction duration will be 20 months. So it would end at the end of 2021. This is a rendering showing the elevator towers. I don't have a pointer, so you can see two elevator towers on the inbound side and the outbound side, and it's also showing you the elevator machine room as well. This is the overpass. It's not completely accurate. There are actually going to be more benches, about 3 benches on one side and 4 counters. And there are going to be new heaters and new lights. These benches and counters will mimic the same benches and counters that you see in White Plains stations. These are based on our new Metro North station standards. So this is a sketch that shows the two phases. The area that is shaded in red depicts the area where the elevator and the elevator machine is going to be, as well as where the sidewalks are going to be in order to allow access from the elevator into the street. The area shaded in blue depicts the next phase, where we're going to put boiler rooms in order to accommodate the heated platforms. So this is a close-up showing the work there. You can see, again, the elevator machine room and boiler room on the inbound and the outbound side. There are going to be some parking ramifications in order to accommodate the construction of these facilities. So on the inbound side, Section A, Area A in red shows that there are going to be 3 parking spots taken, and then Area B in blue for the future boiler room will be an additional 3 parking spots. On the outbound side, the parking area on the south of the street will have to be eliminated because of construction of the elevator machine room, and the boiler room. So it would impact a total of 5 parking spots.
And you've been in touch with the parking authority?
Yes, definitely. Okay, so this drawing shows what we anticipate to happen during the construction. So as you know, the contractor is going to be there, and they're going to need to place materials, they're going to need to put any type of Connex boxes and things like that in order to perform the construction. So the areas that are hatched, they are either for staging purposes or for purposes of enclosing the construction area in order to be safe. So we are going to be providing fencing around, or barricades around the construction area to keep it safe. And then obviously when we complete the construction, we were going to restore it and improve it. We will be doing some planting at the area that we are going to be staging in, as well as near the station where some of the plants unfortunately are going to be damaged during the construction.
I'm sorry, did you say we're going to lose the 5 spots forever, or just during the construction?
The 5 spots are forever.
Forever?
Yes.
Okay. But
We're talking about the outbound side, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Right,
correct.
the other point is, though, if we're losing 5 spots, is there any way for us to figure out where else spots could be gotten? Because it seems to be a big problem down at the train station for those parking spaces. In fact, there are those who've said that there aren't enough right now without taking those away. So I don't know, has there been any thought about that?
I mean, we had discussions with the Hartsdale Public Parking District, and we are going to be discussing with them how to compensate them and how to make sure that we can build the elevators. But we do not have property in Hartsdale, so we need to build the elevator, so there's no other way.
So you don't have, the MTA doesn't own any other property that could actually provide some parking spaces?
Yeah, it's Mark Maddox. The property that MTA owns at the station is the platform area
I can show you the.
up to the back of the platform, and then around the station building. The rest of the
Yeah,
property,
you can see the property lines around the station building, right? That's our property.
but you raise a good point. I think it would be, working with the parking
Right.
authority to look at maybe reconfiguring the current parking to see if they can somehow maximize the space to potentially get more parking. There's ways to reconfigure, existing parking where you can actually create more parking.
That would be great, I would.
So I think
for-
that's
for
something
that.
that's an opportunity to be looked at.
Okay, thank you.
We can coordinate with the parking district and see if there's potential for compact spaces. They may already have that, but that's a question that we haven't worked out with the
Okay.
district. That's a possibility as well.
But I understand that there's concern about that, and about parking. Of course, parking on East Hartsdale Avenue is a concern anyway.
That's about it. I do have a sketch if you are interested to see the power upgrade. So this is what we have to do. We have been discussing the need for an upgrade with Consolidated Edison, with Con Ed. So this is going to be part of the contractor work to do this. And we are making sure that the installation of this conduits also will be used for the next phase, so we don't have to open the ground again next time we'll be putting new platform and new lighting and new canopies. So this will be it. The only thing that we will foresee in the next phase would be gas service for the heated platforms.
Is there a projection in the amount of time that this is going to take to do this project?
This is all part of the 20 months.
Okay.
This is all inclusive in this phase of the project.
And where does the pipeline from Con Ed, where does it run? Under, I can't really, I can't see it very well. Just describe it, please.
Okay, so you have a manhole at the front of the building where you have the Dunkin' Donuts and the sushi place, right? That's the manhole that you see on top of the, you can't see my, all right. And then Con Ed will bring it all the way to the PLB, which is the next manhole.
Maybe you
Near
could
the
use-
sidewalk in
could you
front
use
of
your-
the station.
Use the mouse to just move the arrow to where you're pointing and.
Oh, do you
then
see it there?
They'll see it at home.
Yeah, there it
Sure.
is.
Yeah, but I don't see it.
I see where it's
You don't see it
going.
on your own screen, on your own screen?
Oh, it's not showing on her screen?
It's not showing on the big screen?
I don't know, maybe with glasses.
That's my problem.
Do you see my,
Yeah, there it is.
Does it
It's
help you
over
to
on the
look at the
right.
front screen there?
Yeah.
oh, okay, shoot, I should have put my glasses a long time ago. So that's where the manhole is next to the Dunkin' Donuts, and then Con Ed brings it in all the way here to the property line box, which is in front of the station. See, this is a station building, right? And this is the
So it
sidewalk.
means tearing up the street?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and Con Ed does it, I believe, all the time. And I
That
think
doesn't
we
mean
have
it's
to
good.
have a permission to do that, but again, we need more juice. And then from here, this PLB, basically, that our contractor is going to install along with the connection to the new electrical utility service box and the existing one here. So, yeah, what you see in blue is an opening, and this is a typical section. It's about 21 inches deep.
Is that Greenberg Road? Just making sure.
This is a little bit of picture showing where everything goes, but I don't know if it's too confusing. I mean, for me, I prefer looking at the plan, but it shows the Con Ed manhole, that's next to the Dunkin' Donuts, then going across the street to the station, and then the work within the plaza.
Will there be any, train delays or changes in schedules as a result of this? Or when commuters are during rush hour, going to the trains, should they expect to need more time to get to and from the train?
I don't foresee any changes in the schedule. All the work is done basically outside where what we call fouling the track, and except when we're putting a conduit on the overpass. That kind of work is usually done at night.
So what % of the work is done at night and what % of the work is done at day?
So the conduits that are going to be put on the overpass is going to be done at night. And generally, it's done Friday night or Saturday night, where we have the biggest opening, and that doesn't inconvenience anyone.
Do you know if there's any, I don't think there's like a lot of residences, I know there's an apartment a little distance, but
The
do you
co-op, yeah.
do you anticipate that, any of the residents will be inconvenienced by the noise and the work?
Well, it's construction, it's not quiet.
Right, but,
And I don't believe the excavation for the elevator pits are going to be quiet. But the contractor is not going to work at night.
And we'll try to minimize as much of the noise during the evening, not, try to do that more during the daytime, that kind of activity. Right now, we don't know the contractor's means and methods for the work, and we'll work with them and we'll keep the town informed to try to minimize the amount of noise and disruption during construction. But as you know, with every construction project, it's a challenge, but we're going to try, and I mean, the priority here is to get elevators at the station. I know that's something that, residents have wanted for years, and, we finally can deliver that. We have the funding to do it, and we're going to we'll work around those, those kind of issues.
Yeah, I think this is like an exceptionally important, project. People have been asking for, I was looking at my records, and I know I've been writing to you since the early 2000s
Yeah.
about this. So I think this is really important, and I got an email from somebody today saying, for the first time now, they're going to be able to, get into the city. People are going to be able to visit their family members. Felicia, our assistant historian in the town, was leaving work, and then she found out about the meeting, and she made a U-turn because she's so excited about this. So, people are really, it really is a really important project. But one of the things that I feel is that when we get closer to, the construction time, maybe, I don't think there's a lot of buildings. I think there's maybe probably one or two buildings that really would be impacted by the noise. So maybe we could have a meeting with the residents of that complex, and many of them probably want the elevators also. And then I'll sit down with them and try, working with you and the apartment dwellers, so there's the minimum amount of aggravations.
Well, also for merchants, I mean, I imagine you've been in touch with the merchants as well, to let them know what's going on or about to happen?
No, not with the merchants. So we have been in contact with the owner of the building where the Dunkin' Donuts is, but not with the merchants. And what I want to add, though, is that we have pending an award of a contract to a consulting engineering firm who's going to do the construction supervision and inspection. And the resident engineer who's, is really a nice way of communicating with people. He's definitely going to be making sure that people, if they have questions or if they have any concerns, he's going to be coordinating with any stakeholder who has any questions.
How many employees will be, not employees, how many contractors do you think would be working on this type of project?
Well, the procurement is really for a general contractor, a GC, but we definitely anticipate to have subcontractors for the elevator work, which is specialized, and possibly the electrical work.
So how, would it be like 20 people, 15 people at a time?
It depends on the type of work, it depends on the time of year. I can't say offhand.
You mentioned that there was going to be platform work as well?
That would be the next phase in the 20 to 24 capital program, yeah.
Okay, and at that point, you'll route the trains differently as you work on the platform, or will it not impact the ridership?
Well, the scheme of work is really for stage construction, so it's going to take a lot longer than the 20 months because we can only take half a platform at a time.
Right.
So we build half a platform inbound and then half, the other half. So it's like 4 stages in order to be able to make sure that people can commute. We're not shutting down the station. That was
No,
the
I didn't
question.
expect you
Yeah.
would. I just wanted to understand how that would affect, but if it's, yeah, I think you'll deal with that between now and 2024.
Yes. I'm sure I'll be back here showing you exactly all the phases. Gladly.
That's good. And then just going back to Con Ed, did you have any more detailed discussion about the length of time they would take as they go across the street and how that would impact?
No, I do not have a schedule from Con Ed, and I do not have a schedule from the contractor. I can definitely share that when they are on
if you
board
would.
and we get their, CPM schedule.
Yeah, and it would have to be coordinated
Of
with the
course.
police department.
Of course.
With the contractors, will you be making arrangements with the parking authority to, where they would park the employees? Do we have, because I'm sort of wondering if there's maybe, I'm just throwing out an idea. I say we have the web field, right now, which the town owns like a field, and maybe, so we don't, right now you have limited parking there, and maybe we could work, something out with you where the the contractors could staged a little bit away from the area so we enable the commuters and the people in the community to be less, and the businesses to be less inconvenienced. You know, if you have all these trucks and vans from contractors, it may hurt some of the businesses because people won't be shopping. So, I'd be more than happy to work with you on that.
Yeah, so, I mean, where we're telling the contractor is that this is his major staging area right here. Anything beyond, he would contact the towns, directly if he wants to make other arrangements.
You know what, I'm just
The
thinking.
same way if he wants to have, a construction office, they can rent a storefront or something like that.
You know what
on
I'm
their own.
thinking? You know that there's a road that was abandoned, a number of years ago? It's sort of right near Rockledge Road. It was a town, and then I think the complex had it. Maybe, and it's never been used because it's not a real road. Maybe that could be an area, because it's not, just for the employees for a period of time.
I don't believe we own it to all.
No, but I'm just saying maybe, maybe Metro North could work out something with the, with the owners, and then we wouldn't have any parking, problems, because cars park there all the time for up till maybe 7, 8 years, 10 years ago, is it, probably? Do you think that makes sense as an option?
It could, it would depend on, you say you don't own the property, so it would depend on whether or not the Rockledge
Right.
townhouse community would be it's certainly worth a conversation.
We can definitely bring it up to the
Yeah.
contractor.
Yeah, no, we can work through those types of issues. As the owner mentioned, the staging area, which is directly south of the station building, it's that hatched area that's directly south of the station, and that's town property, correct?
Yes.
That's where the contractor would have for staging. And that's mostly going to be for material, not going to be for, parking vehicles, all the contractors, employees and whatnot. We're going to want to minimize, having that at the station, any, contractor parking. But we can work through if there's other available locations for the contractor to, to work that out with whoever is the owner of that property.
I don't know if it needs to reach this level of formality, but could your pre-construction or your bidding documents indicate the need for a pre-construction meeting with town officials? So that we could, interact with our police department, our DPW commissioner would interact with the contractor? Because, clearly, you wouldn't want 15 workers parking in front of the businesses, loading quarters, and, and they probably wouldn't want to do that either. There
I don't
are
think
potentially
so.
viable, carpool options at, like, Richard Presser Park. So I think that would be helpful, and I think we would do that anyways, but if
Yeah.
it's formalized through the bidding document, I think that would be helpful for all.
Yes, and also I would say too that someone, a town representative, could participate in the contractor's progress meetings as well, whether that's you, Garrett, or somebody else from the town.
I mean, we always send our meeting minutes anyway, and we definitely, our resident engineer will be definitely communicating. Because he's there, he's our eyes and ears right there every day.
Yeah, he'll be the person on the ground,
Yeah.
kind of representing the project.
Did you mention the capacity of the elevator?
I did not.
Could you share?
I have to check and get back to you.
Okay.
I'm not a mechanical engineer, so I have to, I don't want to say something wrong.
Okay.
We'll find that,
I will definitely get back to you.
What is the usage of the train station during rush hour, at peak hours?
I can get you that information too. We definitely have counts.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
I might have them on me.
You do? Oh, see? Counts. I know, we definitely keep track of that.
We have a question from one of the parking commissioners. Barbara, come up and speak into the microphone.
How are you?
So, just to clarify.
Barbara, you have to speak into the microphone.
Okay. just to clarify, the space that you're saying you're going to use to set up for your construction, is that where the taxis are currently parked?
Correct.
Okay, that's not owned by the Hartsdale Public Parking District. I don't know who owns that piece of property.
Town.
Town owns it. Okay, so if you're going to move the taxis from there, do you know where you're moving them to?
We are in the process of collecting all the taxi licenses with the town clerk, and we intend to set up a meeting, work with police, DPW commissioner, to come up with a plan to manage those taxis during the duration of construction.
Okay, so that was one of our questions. In reference to your construction vehicles, the upper level of the F garage, which is the tall garage next to the station, we always have space on the top level. Maybe we can rent it to your construction vehicles. Okay, give us income and give you a place to go.
Perfect.
So,
There it is. Thank you, Barbara.
And I do have ridership numbers.
Oh, wow.
This just in. Okay, for Hartsdale. During the AM peak, we have 2,344 riders. And off-peak during the weekday, we have 597 for a total of 2,941 weekday riders. That's inbound, going into New York City.
How does that compare with, say, Scarsdale or Hastings?
Scarsdale's 4,375.
And
How about
Hastings?
Hastings?
I don't have Hastings on this sheet, I only have the Harlem line. Sorry. But it's not as large as Scarsdale, but nevertheless, it's a pretty good-sized station.
Have you done any, like, surveys to see how many people are elderly who use, do you have any idea how many people would use elevators based on your
Not
experience?
just the elderly, Paul.
Yeah.
I'm saying elderly, disabled, people who have children with strollers, I'm saying, I'm just curious.
I don't think exactly, because it varies. I mean, you have people that, for, surgery or some other special need would need to have an elevator, but not necessarily all the time.
It's some kind of percentage from even of ridership that
Yeah, I would have to look into
Based
that
on
and get
other-
back to you.
municipalities.
Well, you can't really predict based on current numbers, because currently they can't get to the station.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah. So they're going somewhere else.
they're going somewhere else if they're going at all, and
They're
so.
going to probably White Plains right now. Well, not right now, we have construction going on there, to North White Plains.
North White Plains.
But we're also putting an elevator in at Scarsdale, too.
Yeah.
So
But
it's part of this
if
project.
there's, where they have elevators, if there is some data that can give them some kind of average percentage, that might give you some handle on what that usage would be.
Hi, I'm Janice Barber, I'm Felicia's
You have to
mom.
speak into the microphone.
Mike?
Hi. Yes. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Janice Barber, I'm resident of Hartsdale. Felicia has been working at the town hall. She uses a walker, sometimes a wheelchair, and my other daughter relies on a power wheelchair. So it's great that you're putting this in. I know right now, sometimes we take it downtown, then my husband has to pick us up on the uptown, so the elevator is great. I guess my question related to it is, how do you know where the ramp is going to be? White Plains having a person, they can call ahead to the conductor and they tell you to stand in a certain spot, so the ramp will be ready.
Okay.
Hartsdale, we lost that years ago.
You talk about the ramp on the platform in
Yeah.
order to go on the train.
If you're using a wheelchair.
Yeah, I have to ask customer service how they do, make sure that it's there, and I can get back.
It's there, but you never know what train, car it's going to be in.
You
The
can,
conductor would,
there's a number to call, the call-ahead number, which I can get you, to call in advance when you know you're going to be taking a train into the city or out of the city. You call in advance, up to an hour before, and then they will make those arrangements.
So that's what you have to do. I think I have the number. I think at Grand Central they have it posted. I took
Okay.
a screenshot of it.
Oh, good.
So,
Good.
I have it somewhere. 'Cause
So,
it's-
no, we can make, those arrangements can be made.
Is that service available 24 hours a day? Call in advance?
Well, it's made available at any time when we're operating. We don't operate 24 hours.
Well, yeah, when trains are operating,
Yep.
sure. Okay.
I'm just wondering, as the train is approaching, I mean, we have such advanced technology today, could there be a mechanism that has a blinking light that informs people of the specific car as it's approaching the platform so that anyone can see which car that is. Because as we all know, trying to get through phones to specific numbers, calling specific numbers, it's just not always timely. And so having a mechanism that as the train's approaching the platform, that lets the rider know which is the appropriate car could possibly work.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. We don't have that technology today as it stands, but it's something that hopefully we will have in the future.
Yeah.
Paul, can I ask a question?
Here. You can come
Of
up.
course, yeah. Why not?
Hello, everybody. So I am the Dunkin' Donuts franchisee on the corner that you were referring to. My concern, which was, one of my concerns was already addressed about the taxis and where they're going to go during this construction, because they're already a problem, because to the north of the train station is private parking, and they're already in there. People queue in there waiting for, the commuters to get off the train and block all the parking spaces, so you can't get in, you can't get out. So it's already not a good situation. I can't see how this is gonna make it any better. I mean, I am for these elevators. I've lived in the incorporated town of Greenburgh my whole life, 60 years, and we definitely need this, so this is a definite plus, but we have to think what we're gonna do with these taxis. We have to have traffic mitigation, and I'm also concerned with the direction of the power supply to the train station is directly in front of my store and other merchants, as Paul has said. So if we're going to close that road, I don't even see how people are going to be able to use that road. So hopefully they're not going to close it completely, maybe one lane. Right now, there's a delivery drop-off lane that they're probably going to be able to access. But my other concern is, are you actually going to disrupt the commuter pedestrian traffic on the sidewalk? Because your power line is cutting right across where the pedestrians walk across the street to get to the train station. So we need to maintain pedestrian access to the train station during this whole project as well.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We do that at any
Every project.
station project that we have. We know we have to get our customers to the station. There's going to be detours during construction, but they're temporary detours.
And the handicaps, the where it is now, so you'll reconfigure the handicap situation as you're doing construction, if you have to eliminate, because the handicapped is in that staging area right now. So you're going to move that to a different spot?
Is staging area behind the inbound
The
platform?
southbound parking, where you have it crosshatched, is where the
We're
handicap.
losing one handicap spot, is what he's saying.
Yeah, so we're going to lose 5 spots. I'm assuming those 5 spots are the closest to the train station, assuming that the handicap spots are also the closest to the train station. Are all 5 of those spots handicap spots that you're taking?
It's my understanding there's one handicap spot,
One,
1 out of 5?
yeah.
1 out of 5.
Okay, so those are just my concerns. I mean, I agree with Paul, and, this is a great project, and we thank you for doing it. But at the same time, we have to respect the merchants who are paying taxes and make it convenient for everybody.
And you'll have follow-up, meetings with like the town, the police, and maybe with the local merchants and department people, and then we could see if we could, sit down. I think, the nice thing about this project is everybody's for it, so it's not, nobody's coming out saying, oh, we're going to try obstructing or delaying. We just want to all work together so we could have the least negative impacts to, to residents.
And I truly believe that, but I will say that, and this is nothing to do with the MTA, but we allow, or the MTA allows, or I don't know who gives permission to the filming crew to do the movie down there in the village, every
We
month?
no, it was only once, well, it was
No, it was twice.
But the
And it
first
was
time
terrible.
The first time, the second time, we didn't allow rush hour,
Yeah, but whether it's rush hour or not rush hour, you're allowing them to, besides I know somebody's getting paid for it,
not the
right?
town. we're gonna-
Well, I don't know why we're doing it then, because the merchants are inconvenienced. We close the road, the police are there disrupting traffic. I mean, who's benefiting from that?
Well, this is something that we could, take a look at.
Well, I'm just saying, we can't really handle that. I don't know how we're gonna handle this, elevator thing. So we have to really be prepared
We'll be
before we start.
prepared. I'm sure we'll
Well,
be prepared.
I'm hoping that we will be.
Right, and again, I spoke to the police chief yesterday, and one of the thoughts that I had in the proposed budget, I included funding for like speed mitigation, traffic mitigation initiatives. I think I have $50,000 in, and I thought that we should have like a digital signboard at key locations near, heading towards the train station. So if there's going to be traffic inconveniences, let's say Pipeline Road is closed or whatever, or we know that, you're going to have staging, we could alert motorists while they're driving, because not everybody reads the paper, people don't subscribe to the e-list. But this way, let's say, I'm just throwing out, say, Old Army Road and Central Avenue. It could say, today, traffic delays, or tree fell down Pipeline Road, avoid this road, and that could ease some of and it could be like a permanent board that we would display information when there's problems, and the police chief,
Might I suggest that you don't do, because depending on how much usage there is, but you can get mobile boards that
Exactly.
do that.
Right.
And that way it can be used for other situations when
The
necessary.
traffic is already awful.
Yeah.
It's all the way backed up to Central Avenue, as everybody in this room knows. So, I mean, we can all say, we're going to take care of this, we're going to take care of that, don't worry about where the contractors are going to park, but we really need to get on top of it, because just the simple filming at the train station was horrendous and backed up the traffic all the way to Central Avenue. So everybody wants this elevator, but there needs to be, a priority that we keep the traffic pedestrian and vehicular moving.
Great.
Thank you.
I would just qualify to say, we need this elevator. It's not just a desire.
I wanted to. I have two parents that are in their 90s, and I'm getting.
It's not just a convenience, it's a necessity.
Great.
That's great, so thank you very much for.
Thank you.
The update. I'll, post this on like the e-list. We should really create like a YouTube, video, and this way when people are questioning, what's happening, at least they could refer to this meeting. But I think this is great. This was a very, very helpful, and it's really great that you're keeping us informed. And I think that the outreach will go a long way. But I would like to we should find out who is on the board of the department that's most, impacted by this, and maybe we could set up a meeting, quickly with that.
Yeah, as far as broad individual outreach, I wanted the town board to have the opportunity to hear this presentation. I didn't want misinformation to go out, so we will absolutely reach out to all the merchants
Isn't
now.
it, for the apartments, isn't it just, it's really one build, would you say it's one, I'd say it's the one building,
It's going to be
there's only one, right?
I think we will conservatively notify pretty much all the apartment buildings down there, just to let everyone know.
Everyone on the.
Not for MTA, one other consideration that I just want to, I know I put this out there in an email, the farmer's market will obviously not be able to operate during this duration, so we have to figure out whether it makes sense for that to be on pause for 2 years or find an alternate location. So, we reached out to various department heads, maybe we can reach out to civic associations, see what people think may be a location that would be of value to residents.
Presser Park.
Presser Park, potentially, right? So this is something we need to really get going soon. So we've been thinking about it,
Can you use
but
the Santi Plaza for the farmer's market?
not during the duration of this project. It's just not feasible, yeah.
What about Pipeline Road?
I don't think so. I think perhaps the park, that park particularly might, I've heard that before, that's a good idea.
Okay, good. So
Thank you.
Okay, so just want to wrap it up, just that we are, as we started the presentation, we're going to go out for bids this winter for construction, look to award by the second quarter of next year, and that's where I think, we'll keep Garrett, will be our contact. That's okay with you? And we'll keep in touch as we progress towards awarding the contract and start to, work on the outreach as well at the same time.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.